Next Gen Economy Podcast, accelerating breakthroughs.
The Next Gen Economy Podcast is all about young people making waves in business and innovation. We interview some of the most inspiring changemakers out there who are developing creative solutions to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. If you're looking for a dose of inspiration and some practical tips on how to make a difference in the world, this is the show for you. The Next Gen Economy Podcast is brought to you by EXO Angels and sponsored by Island 17, Dream Tank, ExO Economy, and Futureville. Visit us at nextgen-economy.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to ExO Economy Town Hall number 13. Lucky 13 happens to be our 4th birthday of the EXOS token. So happy birthday to us. The community has doubled since last year, and we've got an exciting 30 doubling challenge launching today. You'll see it here first. So you'll be able to go and double your tokens from last year and add to our cumulative community. So without further ado, today's very special. We're going to be talking to the young minds of the future, talking about where this is all taking us. Let me introduce you to our host, Kent Langley. He's the COO of OpenExO Inc. and the mastermind behind the EXOS token and its path to liquidity.
Oh, I don't know if that's... I'll take it. I'm responsible for that. I don't know. That's the brag. We've taken such a different path, Nikki. Thank you for the introduction. It's really great to be here.
Yeah.
Are we ready to get going?
We are. Take it away.
Okay. This is one of those ones where I logged right in and got thrown right here. So I'm like, wait, where am I again? I'm in this virtual place. So we're here today. Today's really special, actually. It's not technically the birthday. So the real birthday for the EXOS token is on April 8th, so 0408. And the actual time that the token was born was at 1600 hours, 32 minutes, and 00 seconds. If you do that was like doubling, right? 04, 08, 16, 32, and then 00 for infinity. We had a little bit of fun with that back in the day. And one of the things that we did last year around the birthday for the token was we ran kind of an engagement campaign where people could get their feet wet with the token. They could get their feet wet and on board with cryptocurrency for the first time ever for many, many people, and find a path to sharing and learning and earning the token. And then, of course, as a result, participating in the economy. That led a lot of people to go on and participate into the core meetings and contribute, and then apply in many cases for grants that we do also in EXOS throughout the community, which is a completely community-run project and community-run treasury that issues grants to people in the community who are doing truly amazing things around the world. Today, we are going to be launching a new version of that challenge. And the team that has put this together for you has really gone all out this year. They've got a new app. They've got a new website. They've got a ton of new challenges for you to try. And I believe we have a short video that talks a little bit about the challenge. So Nikki, why don't we go ahead and just really quick, before we get into that, Nikki and Jillian in particular, I just want to say thank you for all the incredible work that you've done on that. They've got some lovely gamification treats, which is something we'll talk about later today. And then Kevin is behind the scenes and Jillian helping us here. So I'm being told now that they don't see a video. So Jillian will get to it in a couple of minutes. So just hold on that thought and we'll just break in a minute. So what I'll do next is I'll introduce my co-host today. So my co-host is Salim Ismail. Salim is also my co-founder at OpenExO. He is, and I'm going to go for the bio here. Salim is a serial entrepreneur, prolific speaker. We all know that, and we've all seen Salim speak probably at one time or another. He's a sought-after strategist and world-renowned technology entrepreneur, co-founded, built, and sold to Google, the social media company. Actually, before they called it social media, the social networking company Angstro back in 2010. He's the co-founder and executive. He's the co-founder and chairman of OpenExO. He also is the lead author for the best-selling book Exponential Organizations, which sent us all on this journey. So if you know, the token's name is EXOS, exponential organizations. It makes sense. He's an active board member of the X Prize Foundation and was co-founding executive director of Singularity University, which is where I met him. So can we get Salim on stage? Salim, how are you today?
Morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever.
Whatever it is, wherever you are. So I just gave you the giant intro there, but how are you today? And what's on your mind as we approach now in 2 or 3 days' time? I still remember. I don't remember what time it was. I think it was kind of late one night, and it was you and me and Nayib were on a Zoom call, and we were going through a process called minting or the genesis for the EXOS token. And this was on April 8th of 2018. So I would love to hear a little bit from you today, what your thoughts are on the token at this almost 4th birthday and a little bit about where we're headed.
So first of all, awesome to be here, and congrats to everybody and the team involved. It's a big milestone to get to this level. I think there's, if I remember back in 2012 or 2013, we had Ralph Merkle on stage at Singularity University, and he's a global guru on nanotech. And somebody said, "Aren't you Ralph Merkle from Merkle hash trees?" And he's like, "Yeah, that was me in a former life." And the Merkle hash tree is the basis of one-way cryptography, which is the basis of private keys and the basis of Bitcoin. And we have an image somewhere with the Genesis block, which shows the Merkle hash at the bottom, which is kind of incredible. And so when we were thinking about when should we launch this thing, given the background in our exponential thinking, we decided the best time for the Genesis block was 0408 at 1632, and thus it came to be. 4 years later, I think we're super thrilled with where it's gone. I think the key point a couple of key points. One is we are community first. We've been thinking about this for a long time. This is not new. Kent and I first talked about this in 2016, and then 2017 kind of enacted it. 2018, we finally launched it. We didn't go for the ICO craze because of some advisors said stay away from that, etc. And thank goodness. And we've been slowly. Kent always talks about it as a 100-quarter project, and I think we're in quarter 12 or 13 here. So when you look at it that perspective, almost every other crypto in the world built the technology, and then they're desperately casting around for use cases and community, and we have gone the other way. We built community first, and then we wanted the token as a means of exchange and a utility and value exchange, etc., in and for the community. And so we're pretty. It's a much harder path to go the path we've gone, because you're not grabbing at the shiny objects, but you're also structurally setting yourself up for a long-term success, and keeping that zoom out view, that MTP of this being a token for transformation is super critical, and we're really, really excited about where this goes.
I love that. I've been on the journey and sort of at this really zoomed in level most of the time, and sometimes you don't actually see the forest for the trees. There are degrees of patience with an approach like this, I would say. But EXOS has been operating for its entire lifetime as a private complementary cryptocurrency. And I'm not sure I've heard those words put together in that way too many times. But one of the folks who we can give a bit of credit for this for sure was on one of our earlier shows, Kalia Young. She really was an early influence in a cafe somewhere in Miami when we were talking about this early on. And what this has allowed us to do is focus on two key things: utility, what's the token good for? What do you use it for? And distribution, making sure that if people do that utility or receive that utility in the new NFT context, that they receive the token. And that creates a situation where more and more people over time that should have the token, the people that should have the token, and that they've earned it and have imbued value through work and effort and belief in the token. And that's what we've been focused on. But now after 4 years of the token operating in a peer-to-peer fashion amongst the members, which now are over 17,000 of our community, and in our online marketplace for transformation services, which are also done both directed and peer-to-peer, where we match sort of the supply and demand for transformation services together. After all that time, we are now moving into kind of the third leg of the stool, which, the three were utility, distribution, and then liquidity. We did not focus on liquidity first. That's what Salim was talking about. We focused on community first. And this is a unique thing about the EXO economy, about the EXOS token, and about how OpenExO has approached it. But now, in the last several months, we've done a number of experiments. Not all of them were successful, but you don't always succeed when you run an experiment. But we've learned exactly what path we want to take to get the token into public markets. And we'll have some questions in the Q&A later that were put in earlier that will address some of these things as well. So I won't go into it much now. We're in that third sort of epoch now where we're driving toward liquidity of the token. And this is probably one of the most exciting times that we could have, because it's what most people equate with crypto having value. They don't focus as much on the non-financial utility portions, especially external actors. And so, yeah, that's where we are. So, Salim, did I miss anything there in terms of kind of this journey we've been on? It's been a bit crazy at times. And I don't know how many hours I've spent with lawyers. I might have sort of like a minor in some sort of law degree at this point, effectively. I don't know.
Well, this is the hard part about this stuff, is you're on the bleeding edge. So you bleed, and you end up taking a lot of hits. And lawyers saying, I remember about 2 years ago, I said something publicly and the lawyers freaked out and said, that could have killed the whole operation. And you're like, where? And then how do you undo that? And it's a very, very sticky situation. I think what's good is now the market is catching up and the environment has matured to a level where we can stand on a really solid foundation and really, really kind of take this to the next level.
Got it. All right. So one of the things that we wanted to do today as we celebrate is kind of look toward the future a little bit. And we've invited a number of people here today that are working also at the cutting edge and at the bleeding edge, just like us. And as Salim said, on the edge. When you're on the bleeding edge, you do, in fact, bleed. So it has been a real privilege and honor to get to know some of these folks. Some of these folks I'm meeting for the first time today. So I'm going to go through right now. After we roll, I'm just getting the cue. After we roll the 30-day doubling challenge video, which is now loaded up. So we are going to watch that first, and then I'm going to introduce our panel. And then we're going to really jump right into it and get into a discussion today with a number of people who are forward thinking and really, really in it, working in this space of crypto, NFTs, blockchain, and more. All right, so let's hear the...
Hey everybody, welcome to the 30 Doubling Challenge 2022. We've got an update to last year's game. We've actually gamified this to another level, and we will keep doing so. But what we want is your feedback, and what we're offering is to let you earn many, many tokens, up to 10,000 and actually more. In this game, we have some extra surprises, so take a look. Top prizes are paid out to the first 100 people to reach 30 doublings. That's the ultimate goal. Bonus points will be added. Experience points lead to bonus points, lead to added value. So hopefully that's intriguing enough to keep you going. Check on your levels. Levels are really where it's at. 30 doublings is the base minimum requirement to achieve the goal of over 10,000 tokens as a payout. And that's the whole purpose of doing a 30 doubling challenge, leading to the knowledge of how to get to an exponential curve, really understanding that 30 behaviors can get you to massive transformation, massive growth. And in that way, it walks you through the possibility to take this to an organizational level, to a personal level, whatever it is you're achieving in life, whatever your purpose, your goal, your massive transformative purpose is, to get to an exponential scaling ability. It's 30 behaviors. That's it. And this is what we're demonstrating with this game. Hopefully it's fun for you. And we have some bonuses along the way. Help us learn. We absolutely love your feedback. And welcome to the 30 Doubling Challenge 2022.
The Next Gen Economy podcast is brought to you by EXO Angels and sponsored by Island 17, Dream Tank, EXO Economy, and Futureville. Visit us at nextgen-economy.com.
Next Gen Economy Podcast, accelerating breakthroughs.